Hey ladies, welcome back to my channel. Dietitian Teresa here and certified personal trainer. I'm coming at you with some health tips and just mindset work, especially going into the holiday season. And if you have any health and fitness goals and things like that, we're going to work through the emotional eating side of things. If you've ever turned to food after a long, stressful day with kids or a challenging day at work, know that you're not alone. Emotional eating is something so many of us struggle with, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. Today, we're going to talk about emotional eating and why so many diets haven't worked for you long term. But the truth is, it's not your fault. It's you have not failed the diet. And there's a better, more sustainable way to go about this and to reach your goals this season. What to expect in this video is that we're going to dive into how emotional eating happens and why it's so common and how to break free from the cycle of dieting and emotional eating without the guilt involved. You'll learn how to nourish your body, feel empowered in your food choices, and embrace a more integrated approach and compassionate approach to reach your goals. So let's hop into today's video. First part here, I wanted to go into explaining what emotional eating is, like giving you the definition. So emotional eating happens when we turn to food for comfort, stress relief, or even celebration. It's not truly about hunger, like physical hunger. It's really using food as a way to cope with our emotions, whether it's after a stressful day at work, juggling kids, or just feeling overwhelmed. And many of us reach for food to help us feel better. I get it, life is busy, but when we don't have time, hard air quotes around that, have time for self-care or healthy outlets for stress, food becomes an easy go-to. And let's be real, food is comforting. I get that. I get that it can be comforting. Give me some homemade mac and cheese and I'm good. But when it becomes our primary way to handle stress or emotions, that's when it really starts to become an interference with our goals in the long term. And here's the thing, emotional eating isn't a sign of weakness or lack of willpower. It's a normal human response to stress. And the first step to overcoming it is to actually just understand that you're not broken or doing something wrong. And this leads me into why diets haven't worked for you. If you've tried multiple diets and haven't seen long-term success, I want you to know it's not you, it's the diet. And most diets are designed to restrict you. And when your life is busy and high stress life, that kind of restriction doesn't really gel well and it is nearly impossible to sustain. And I don't say impossible a lot, but expecting yourself to stay on this regimented diet with the complexity of life throws at you, we got to get real here. Many of us have been on that dieting roller coaster, losing weight, regaining it, and feeling like we failed. And the truth is, the diets failed you. Again, you did not feel the diet. The diet didn't take into account the complexity of your life and your emotions, and the fact that food isn't solely just fuel. It's part of our culture, our celebrations, and our comfort, along with nourishing our body and fueling our body for performance and living everyday life. Also, diets often focus on short-term fixes, cutting carbs, extreme calorie restriction, or even eliminating entire food groups. But what happens when life throws you a curveball or you just want a night out to enjoy with your family? These diets don't teach you how to manage those moments or how to eat, which is why they're just not sustainable. And that's why I don't promote short-term fixes, is because I want to teach you how to eat in multiple scenarios and how to nourish your body and understand your body's cues so that you don't have that stress of having to say no to certain things when you really truly just want to enjoy the moment and not be so stressed out about food. Bringing me from the diets into how to break this cycle of emotional eating and dieting, I want to preface this by saying that this takes time and it's going to be different for everybody. So somebody coming from struggling with 10 years of emotional eating and a lot of trauma or different things that are correlated to coping with food as their stress relief or trauma relief, it's going to be a different time frame for everybody. And I need you to understand that through and through. And that's why my approach of being consistent and staying consistent is so important. The first step to really breaking free from that emotional eating is awareness. It's starting by noticing when and why you turn to food. Are you bored, stressed, or lonely? Once you recognize the triggers, you can start addressing the emotions itself. And instead of using food to cope, you opt for health promoting activities. These things, like with the awareness, what I always do with clients, and I've done it with myself, is just getting a journal that you dedicate just for like this emotional eating journey. I want you to ask yourself 3 questions when you go to that fridge or go to the pantry, when you get that heightened emotion of stress or even happiness or whatever emotion is triggering you and you find out. Think to yourself, take a moment, pause. Even if you're opening up the door of the fridge and you're like, what can I get into because I need to soothe this emotion? I need you to take a second. I want you to first take like 2 to 3 deep breaths. Calm yourself down. Calm your nervous system down. Second, ask this question. What does my body actually want or crave right now? Likelihood is going to be that relief, right? That leads into the third question. Will food solve the feeling or the issue that I'm trying to cope with? And sometimes in the beginning, you still might turn to food. Over time, you're going to find that food isn't always the answer to emotions. And that is the best thing about it. When stress and emotions hit, instead of turning to food, try other outlets like going for a walk, even if it's just 2 to 5 minutes, or just stepping outside, journaling, get out the journal, call a friend. Strength training can actually be a really powerful way to release that stress and feel stronger both mentally and physically. It's not like you have to get in your car and go to the gym. It could be do some air squats at home too. If you hear one thing in this video is to have compassion over judgment for yourself. Remember that this is a journey and a long-term thing, and beating yourself up over emotional eating only makes things harder. Really, does like beating yourself up after having an emotional eating binge or whatever make you feel that much better? No, like I highly doubt it does. Maybe in the moment, but then afterwards, does it? I want you to approach this with compassion. Emotional eating doesn't define you, and it doesn't mean you can't reach your goals with these instances happening. Remember, compassion over judgment of yourself. You're doing way better than you think you are. Okay, so this goes into me talking about deprivation and really how you can switch your thinking to eating more to lose fat. Like, you definitely can eat more to lose fat in like a fat loss journey, especially going into the holiday season. The results might look a little bit more stretched out. So like drastic results are likely not going to be the end result during the holiday season, because I truly want to promote, like, I want you to enjoy family time, enjoy the flexibility of being able to go out and things like that. You still can on a fat loss journey, but like I'm saying, like the results realistically as drastic to be sustainable for after you're kind of done with that fat loss journey. The key to breaking free from this emotional eating and dieting really isn't about the restriction. It's about nourishment. And you can eat more, feel satisfied, and still lose fat by focusing on nutrient-dense foods that fuel your body. If you haven't already seen my other YouTube videos I talk all about like increase that nutrient density in your nutrition, and you are naturally like, instead of focusing on like always cutting calories, we're focused more so on the quality of food, not necessarily like quantity always. And that's where like calories can be a big focus, especially moving into holiday season and just in general too. Focus on increasing your intake of lean proteins and veggies and like non-starchy vegetables, healthy fat sources that offer support for your hormones and help you keep you satisfied. And also incorporating things like oats, rice, potatoes, and those types of carbs to really help pair with the protein and the fat to really optimize muscle building, fat burning in that process. All of these foods combined can really help you feel full, feel energized and satisfied. Who doesn't want that? You're less likely to reach for the extra snacks or out of stress eating. When we think about this, like in the nutrition standpoint, one of the most empowering things that I can say here that has helped my mentality and my own food freedom journey that I went on a couple years ago, and healing, ditching that diet mentality during like holiday season, especially, and just like in life in general, instead of thinking about what you can't have, focus on adding more. What can you add to your meals? neutralize food, because when we get into this holiday season, when we get into times where we're like, this is good, but this is bad, this is good, this is bad, then we're like, okay, if I eat this bad food, then I'm bad. If I eat this good food, I'm good. It's not that way. Sure, eat the foods that make you feel good and that you know offer vitamins, minerals, energy support, performance support, and help you towards your goals, make you feel energized, sleep well, better hormonal balance, all those things. Put the focus on that rather than just focusing on the calorie at hand. Life is really about, not, I don't believe it's really about balance per se, but it's about integration. We're not getting rid of the chaos of your life. We're not getting rid of going out to eat. We're integrating those things in so it's realistic and sustainable for you. And it's not about perfection. I want you to enjoy the piece of cake or the piece of pie. I want you to enjoy the mashed potatoes, the birthday party, the glass of wine with friends. It won't ruin your progress in the long term as long as we don't let it become this consistent habit that we turn to due to the emotional triggers that dieting has taught us in the past. And like, if you've ever been on that diet roller coaster, consistency, consistency, consistency. And when you stop viewing food as the enemy in these cases and start seeing it as a tool for nourishment and supporting your goals and supporting your energy, your sleep, how you respond during the day, like stabilizing your blood sugars, you're creating that food freedom. This allows you to really step into that confidence that you've been wanting to for years. And I can tell you that firsthand as well. I wasn't as confident in myself or my ability to be around certain foods or things like that. But I'm like, why am I so focused on the food? I'm here for this holiday because I haven't seen this family in so long. Like, I want to focus on the conversation and just be able to naturally just enjoy the taco dip or whatever, enjoy the candy, enjoy the food as it comes, and not be like, oh, how many calories did I eat? And forget about all the memory that can be made. Step into your confidence. Step into this mentality that you deserve to be in. You deserve to feel empowered. You deserve that food freedom for yourself. If you've been struggling with emotional eating or you feel like you failed diets and because of past experiences, just know you're not alone in this. It's not your fault. You can break free from that cycle by focusing on nourishing your body, training strong, focusing on neutralizing foods, saying yes. Like, say yes to things. Be curious. Be curious about the foods that make you feel good. Be curious about trying different things. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, we renavigate. It's not the end of the world. So I want to help empower you to feel strong, feel confident, feel energized, and embrace food freedom in your journey to help break that emotional eating roller coaster that you may have been on or that you start going into during the holiday season. Fat loss too. Like, I talk a lot about fat loss, and I like that area of this because it promotes also to that muscle building aspect. Again, fat loss does not have to be a complicated process, and you don't have to give up the reality of life to achieve it. And I hope this video helped you see that too. If this video resonated, hit the like button, share this with friends, subscribe if you'd like, take what you need, leave what you don't. And here is to you creating a more integrated, empowered health and fitness routine that works for you in the complexity of life you are living in right now. Stay strong, stay nourished, and I will see you in the next video.